Hello and welcome. Or I kind of feel like you are welcoming me rather than me welcoming you. But anyway, for those who I've not met, those who've not seen me yet, not seen a photograph, I am the Revd Budden and I am the new team rector of the Golden Cap Benefice. And it's wonderful to be here. And it's very strange to be here. I'm still in a period of adjustment, I think, getting to know, getting to understand, getting to meet, all of those things. And it's just going to take time. But this is very immediate. This is a way that I can perhaps, well, at least you can get to know me, even if I can't at the moment get to know you. One of the weird things about doing online things. And that's something I will come back to in a moment, because I would like to use it as a way to perhaps get to know some of you a little better. So where to begin? Well, it's been quite a journey, coming from southwest London, moving down here. I'm not fully moved yet. Half of my family's still in London, so it's a very odd situation at the moment. And so prayers appreciated through this time. My family will be joining me towards the end of June, and we'll try and meet up with one another in the meantime. So I don't know where you're watching this from. I don't know whether you're in the middle of something as you're watching this. Whether you're watching it, I don't know, whilst you're sort of cooking, or you're sitting comfortably in an armchair, or I don't know, maybe you're jogging and listening to this, who knows. I don't know if you're part of one of the churches in the benefice. I don't know whether you were connected to one of the churches, or you still are, but you just can't make it to the services currently. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because we're all part of one church, the church, God's church. And so I guess when I say welcome, let's welcome to that family of God's church today. So, as I said, where to start? First of all, I thought I'm used to Frida's. I've kind of watched a couple of the online videos to get to know the benefice a little bit. And I know Frida has a beautiful dresser. So this is my equivalent to Frida's dresser. These shelves are not the most beautiful, so I've tried to decorate just this part of them at least. So there you go. That's my attempt at a Frida dresser. There you go. I was thinking about what to say briefly, and the thing that pinged into my head was an old hymn that got me involved in ministry for the first time, or public ministry, I should say. And it was "Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing." And the opening lyrics are, "Come Thou Fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace." I just think those are beautiful words. But the second verse begins, "Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come." And so it's a reminder to me, and I'll go into what Ebenezer means in a moment, but it's a reminder to me that I'm not here through anything of my own. I'm here merely through God's help. And by God's help, I hope that we as a benefice can move and journey and pray and gather together. Hither by God's help I'm come. Which brings me back to Ebenezer. It's a funny word. A Hebrew means stone of help, stone of God's help. But as I was thinking about that, I was aware of there's so many times, especially in the Old Testament, where people the patriarchs particularly place a stone as a reminder of that really personal moment with God, where God has perhaps answered prayer, where God has given a vision. And perhaps that's my prayer for today, that I am aware of God's presence in this moment, and that I can kind of metaphorically, I guess, place a stone. I could go out in the garden, find a stone and actually place it as a reminder of God's help. Hither by thy help I'm come. And it's interesting, Dickens uses the word Ebenezer, that name, and the character Ebenezer in A Christmas Carol obviously is transformed by these visions, and these visions turn him to see God's grace, to receive God's grace, and he becomes this transformed character. And I wonder, in your life, have there been sort of key moments when you've known God's grace, where perhaps you can, again, metaphorically plant a stone for all those moments on that journey of faith? So I might do that in a moment. I might go out into the garden and place a stone and just remind myself, hither by God's help I'm come. Perhaps you've got a garden, perhaps you've got a place where you can put a rock today. You can actually put a rock and just be reminded of God's help, of God's grace, of God's love. It's like a mini pilgrimage. I think often along pilgrimages to Santiago, people place stones at certain points and make these cairns. So we can do that today. But in your garden or on your, I don't know, you might have a shelf somewhere, or just place something. It might be an ornament. Move it a bit and just be reminded of God's grace and love in your life today. And as you look at that, it can be that reminder. And speaking of transformation, and speaking of trying to get to know you a little better, I was wondering whether we could do a morning prayer online once a week, say a Wednesday morning from 9 to 9:15. You can watch it later on in the day as well. And then Sundays would become the Sunday thought. So those that are already contributing, like Frida and Ginny and whoever may like to be part of this team, can do that thought, and that can go out on a Sunday. And we can do YouTube Live on a Wednesday. So this is my proposition. Because if you have a YouTube account, you can then, you subscribe to the Golden Cat Benefice YouTube account. It means you can comment, you can say, I'm here if you wish to. If you're not sure how to do that, then I would encourage you to ask somebody. But this is my plan. It's a suggestion and something that I'd quite like to do going ahead. If you're in touch with someone else within the church, within your local church, please do ask them about this. Ask them, what do I do here? How do I comment? And perhaps we can do that. Doesn't matter if you can't comment initially. I can go out live on a Wednesday at 9 a.m. and you can be there. It just knows that we're all together at the same time, and it feels like fellowship. I'm aware I have rattled on quite long enough, and I should probably bring this to a close. So I just want to say welcome. Over time, I will gradually get to know you, and and it will be lovely to know who is watching this and find out. Anyway, I wish you every blessing, and as you go through today, just remember, move that ornament or find a rock in the garden that you can place. Let's be reminded that God's presence is here. The stone of help, God's help is with us. God's grace is with us. So take care and God bless. Bye-bye.